Hello and welcome to Ani's Short Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Wightwood Werewolf. Holly Arnold's breath condensed in ghostly wisps as she trudged through the dense undergrowth of the Wightwood forest. The moon hung heavy and full, casting silvery beams through the skeletal branches, illuminating patches of frost-bitten earth. For weeks, the Isle of Wight had been gripped by fear reports of strange tracks found in the woods, mutilated livestock, and a mournful howl echoing in the dead of night. Stay inside after dark. But Holly was never one to heed warnings, especially not when her curiosity was piqued. The peculiar tracks she found in the forest behind the cottage that morning had been enough to propel her into action. The prints were massive, far too large for any dog or fox. 4 clawed toes dug deep into the soil, yet the gait suggested a creature walking upright. Something about them felt wrong, ancient, and predatory. Holly tightened her grip on the flashlight and pressed onward. Every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs sent her heart racing. The air seemed charged, heavy with an unnatural energy. She paused, sweeping the beam of light around her. The forest seemed to hold its breath, as though waiting for something. Then she heard it, a low, guttural growl that made her blood run cold. A shadow moved just beyond the edge of her light, impossibly fast. Holly spun, her flashlight trembling in her hand. "Who is there?" she called. The growl deepened, resonating through the trees. Holly took a cautious step back, her boots crunching against the frosty ground. The shadow reappeared, closer this time. She caught a glimpse of glowing amber eyes and a flash of teeth far too sharp and too many to belong to any ordinary animal. "Oh, God," Holly whispered. This was no mere beast. The stories her grandmother used to tell her as a child flooded back, tales of the Wightwood Werewolf, a cursoul doomed to roam the forest during the full moon, spreading its affliction with a single bite. Holly turned and ran, her flashlight bouncing wildly. The growls morphed into a chilling howl that seemed to vibrate through her very bones. Branches clawed at her jacket as she tore through the forest, her lungs burning with each ragged breath. She didn't dare look back. Holly burst into the clearing near her grandmother's cottage, slamming the door shut behind her and bolting it. Her chest heaved as she struggled to catch her breath. She flicked off the flashlight and peered through the curtains, scanning the tree line. The forest was still, eerily so. Her pulse began to steady, but her relief was short-lived. A sharp knock at the door sent her leaping back with a gasp. "Oh, Holly, it's me." Holly hesitated before unlocking the door. Her childhood friend stood there, his face pale and streaked with dirt, his eyes wide with fear. "I've been looking for you. You shouldn't be out here tonight," he said. "I found tracks." "I think it's real." Sam's expression darkened. "It's not just real, it's close. You need to stay inside. They don't open this door for anyone. What about you?" He hesitated, his jaw tightening. "I'll be fine." Holly nodded reluctantly. Sam slipped back into the night, and Holly bolted the door behind him. The weight of the situation pressed down on her. If the werewolf was real, then the curse was too. And if someone didn't stop it, more people could fall victim. The hours crawled by. Holly sat by the window, her flashlight and a kitchen knife within reach. The forest seemed alive with sounds, branches creaking, the wind howling, and something else. Heavy footsteps circling the cottage. Her heart pounded as she crept toward the door, every instinct screaming at her to stay away. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then the door shuddered violently as something massive slammed against it. Holly screamed, stumbling back. The wood groaned under the pressure, but the bolts held. For now. A deep, guttural snarl echoed from the other side. Holly's mind raced. She couldn't stay here. She needed to find Sam, needed to warn the village. Grabbing her flashlight and knife, she unbolted the back door and slipped out into the night. The forest was a maze of shadows, every tree a potential hiding place for the creature. Holly moved as quietly as she could, her ears straining for any sign of pursuit. She didn't have to wait long. A blood-curdling howl pierced the night, closer than before. Holly broke into a run, her flashlight beam bobbing wildly. She tripped over a root and went sprawling, the knife skittering out of her hand. Scrambling to her feet, she turned to grab it and froze. The werewolf stood a few feet away, its hulking form bathed in moonlight. Its amber eyes locked onto hers, and for a moment she saw something human in them. "Sam," she whispered. The creature growled, taking a step closer. Holly's mind raced. If Sam was the werewolf, there had to be a way to break the curse. Her grandmother's stories had mentioned something, an ancient ritual, a silver dagger, but she had none of those things. All she had was her determination to save him. "Sam, if you can hear me, fight it," she pleaded. The werewolf hesitated, its growl faltering. For a brief moment she thought she'd reached him, but then it lunged. Holly dived to the side, grabbing the knife and swinging it blindly. The blade grazed the creature's arm, and it howled in pain, retreating into the shadows. Holly didn't wait to see if it would return. She ran, her only thought to find help and end this nightmare. By dawn, Holly had reached the village, her clothes torn and her body bruised, but her resolve unbroken. She told the elders everything, and they revealed the truth. The curse could only be lifted by confronting the werewolf and performing the ritual. Armed with their guidance and an ancient silver dagger, Holly prepared to face the Wightwood Werewolf one final time. The next full moon would decide their fate and the future of the Isle of Wight. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had or have a great day.